Hello everyone, I'm Arali, and today we're going to talk about my next Elite Specialization speculation for Guild Wars End of Dragons. Now this one is going to be a little bit, maybe controversial I guess. We're going to be talking about the Thief, and the Elite Specialization I have named the Shadowmancer. Now, I know a lot of people have been wanting to get like a swashbuckler or like a sword offhand or a shield or something like that. It was just really hard because I was thinking about that too, and I probably thought it would be a good fit with the Luxons being like piratey kind of thing and stuff like that. So, but everything that I've thought about didn't really fit. Like it was just stuff that we had already have on the Thief, and because you get a sword and a pistol, and that kind of gives you like that piratey feel already, So it's just kind of I couldn't really make it work. So I just ended up Googling some stuff, and there was actually in 2011 on the wiki there was a April Fool's joke that was made, and it was the Shadowmancer. This was before the Mesmer was revealed, and they used the backdrop that we got from the Mesmer as the kind of the image, and they made like this whole class. But I thought it was interesting because the Thief is based off of the Assassin, which was a class that we did get in Cantha in the Factions expansion. When you look at the skills, the Assassin is pretty much like a dagger wielding guy. He has like two daggers, and he jumps in and out, and he assassinates his target and stuff like that. But there was a lot of skills that were magic based too. They were like half range spells, and a lot of them made you like jump around a lot, and some of them got used for the Thief. But I feel like the magical aspect of it, because there was a lot of spells that you were able to use, a lot of them had to deal with poison and stuff like that, they kind of were lost. That whole concept was kind of lost. So I'm kind of thinking the Shadowmancer could bring that back. So for the weapon, it would have to be something magical. We already have a staff that we use in melee range, and we don't have other really magical weapons that we could possibly use beside a scepter or a trident. Could be scepter focus or a trident. So I'm thinking one of those two. I'm leaning towards the trident more because I think they could combine the whole idea of doing a magic based, doing magic based weapons, but also kind of maybe having you jump around a lot, so you do get closer up with the trident and do stab it. So it would be like a 900 range to like a close range like a melee weapon. So it would be like a hybrid between the two of them. And the F1 ability would turn from stealing into shadow form, which is almost like a necromancer shroud, but it increases your movement speed, so you would be able to move around a lot faster. You would get probably like this red purpley like hue around you, there's like mist around you or something like that to kind of indicate that you're in that form. You also would take reduced damage in it, but it would cost initiative continuously, so you would kind of have to figure out how to use that, because all your skills pretty much use initiative. So at this point you're using a ton of initiative just to be in the form, so you have to kind of figure out how to use it properly. And so it just kind of gives you that like necromancer feel, but through the eyes of a thief. So we're kind of just mixing those two classes, but it's not like death magic or anything. It's more like shadowy magic. And then for weapon skills, there could be like a black beam that you shoot, and the first enemy that gets hit, maybe it splits into like multiple beams that spread out to other enemies. There's also a lot, like I said, there was a lot of like jumping around that they had on the Assassin. So I'm thinking maybe having like the phase retreat on Mesmer Staff 2 jump back and kind of just shadow step backward and stuff like that away from your enemy, and maybe leaving like a little poison field behind or something like that. And like I said, there could be one that the Thief gets in closer and attacks in close range. And there's a lot of different things I think they can do with it. And then for utility skills, I thought of well skills, but these are going to be special wells because we like putting little twists on certain things, So these wells would pull in the enemy. So if the enemy is standing inside the well, they're going to be pulled to the center, and there's going to be 3 different ones. So one of them would have like a similar effect how the Reaper Greatsword 4 has that little swirly effect, but it's green, so you could get like a purpley, black purpley swirl, and that kind of pulls in enemies. And of course they would do continuous damage, or maybe apply conditions, you know, like I said, poison, or maybe some blindness, because the assassin dealt with a lot of blindness, and the thief already does have a lot of blindness, but you know, you can never have enough blindness. So, and then maybe one that has like these dark spikes that come out of the ground, maybe kind of like the preparation skill that we already have, but more as like these are like shadowy spikes that come out of the ground. And then another one would be to have like a similar effect like the Malik's elite skill on the Revenant, where it just kind of like it pulses out these like gray beams that come out in like a circle formation, kind of maybe having that on the ground and kind of just see like a pulsing effect. Maybe have it go inward because you're pulling people in, so you kind of just have 3 distinct kind of wells that you get there. There could, you know, of course there would have to be like an elite one, maybe an elite one that's bigger than the rest of them and just deals with a lot more condition damage or something like that, or just plain more damage, you know. And then the traits could deal with certain things, like maybe one that gives you more defense when you're in shadow form the closer you are to your target, so you kind of get that different play styles, you know, having, okay, I want to be close range because I need more defense as I'm closer to the target, and that would kind of help with, you know, you don't always have to use that particular weapon. So if I'm a dagger thief and I am in the Shadowmancer specialization, that I can get closer and in shadow form just get a ton more defense. And then maybe one that gives more damage the farther you're away from your target. So again, different play styles. So now I'm looking for the magical side of the specialization, so I'm trying to get further away from him and, you know, use my trident that maybe at a 900 range I do like the max amount of damage, so I'm trying to stay away from the enemy, so I'm more of, you know, a magical user. And then maybe a trait that increases poison damage, or maybe even increases the reduced healing effect that poison does. Kind of just give some poison gameplay. I think poison is one of those things that is incredibly underused. I don't see a lot of builds or even classes go for that. A lot of classes have it, but you don't see a lot of builds that kind of build on that. We do have the poisons as a utility skill already on Thief, and they do get used, but I think maybe having actually deal with the poison condition that we have in game, and maybe we already have traits that increase it, so maybe not necessarily increase the poison damage, but maybe increase the reduced healing effect, because that's what the foe gets when they have poison on them. They get a reduced healing effect, so maybe have them not be able to heal at all, so that would be kind of cool, you know, just so, you know, maybe have it last a shorter amount of time, but have it kind of stop them from using healing abilities. And lastly, for the traits, I wanted to talk about maybe a trait that deals with initiative gain, because since you're using a lot of initiative when you're in shadow form, that means you won't be able to use all of your utility skills and your weapon skills and things like that, because everything costs initiative. So maybe having something that gives you, you know, maybe a minor trait that gives you initiative in return to doing damage, or maybe every interval, instead of getting 1 initiative, you get 2 initiative, so your regeneration on initiative is a lot faster, just to keep up with the shadow form thing, because that's going to drain your initiative, and I feel like it might actually feel really boring on the Thief if you don't have any initiative. And I think we run into this with the Revenant already, because the energy management on the Revenant is already kind of crap, and you kind of see that gameplay when you try to use certain skills that drain your energy, and you have that energy regeneration, and you try to use skills and you just run out of energy really fast, and I would hate to see that on the Thief as well. So, you know, maybe having something that gives you initiative as you're doing damage or something like that, you know, but give us some ability to regenerate initiative a lot faster. And yeah, so that pretty much would be it for the elite specialization here on the Shadowmancer. So it's kind of a dark themed mage class. I think it kind of goes with Kanaxai, you know, he was like this demon in the depths, you know, and I think maybe, you know, and we also have the Oni kind of too. There were these, you know, these assassin-y kind of, they popped out of nowhere kind of demons that we had. So maybe leaning on that kind of lore that we had in factions and in, you know, in the region of Kantha and stuff, I think would be probably, it's like I said, it's a little controversial, but it's different. It's not quite a necromancer, but it does have that like dark feel to it, but not like the deathy feel that like a necromancer has. So I would really enjoy that. But yeah, and that's all I have for this elite specialization. If you'd like to leave a comment, I would really appreciate that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.